What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Revival. My name is JJ, and it's time for another collection video. This time, PlayStation 3. Alright, so a little background on me and the PS3. My least favorite of the PlayStation consoles, by quite a bit, actually. And that's not to say that it's bad or that I dislike it or anything. I just have 1, 2, and 4. 2 and 4. I got in on the ground floor. I got it like relatively close to when it came out. 1 did take me a while to get, but I ended up loving it, and obviously with all the freaking RPGs on that system. And 3, I never even had any intention of getting. I went for years without it. I actually was still sticking to, like, I didn't even get a 360 at the time, because I saw the games that were coming out for it, and I was kind of like, I don't really have any interest, to be honest with you. And so I literally was just, I was about the PS2 and my Nintendo consoles, and I kept it old school for a long time. And then my cousin's boyfriend at the time, now husband, said he was getting rid of his, and he was getting rid of it for cheap. So he asked me if I wanted to buy it, and I said, sure. And the main reason I did that was because I knew that Final Fantasy 13 was going to be coming out on it. And of course, I had to get one at that point. So, that's when I got it. I will say, I know when I do a lot of these collection videos, there's a lot of games that I have not played in my collection. Fair warning, probably the most of those are on the PS3. There's a whole lot of games here that I have not played. So also, as you can see, I've got a bunch of them, so it's probably going to be a multi-parter. So I guess we'll just go ahead and get into it. I'll go ahead and knock out the big one first that I've shown on the channel before. Just because it's massive, and yeah. That is the Tales of Xillia 2 Collector's Edition. Great game, though. Love the game. Fantastic. But this was right around the time when I was like, I should probably tone it down on the Collector's Editions, because what am I going to do with this? But I really, really enjoyed the game when I finally did end up playing it, which wasn't for a while after I got it. Which I think I had mentioned on the channel, but really, really fun game. Actually, I think I may have liked it better than the original, to be honest with you. But good stuff. Tales series in general, man, I did a whole video on it. It's just great. Okay, we'll start with stack number 1 here. Up top, we got right off the bat, game I have not played, and that's Lego Lord of the Rings. I love Lord of the Rings. I'll be honest though, I have not gotten into the Lego games. Not because I didn't have any interest or anything like that. I've actually been very interested in. I just have not really gotten into them. I think the only one I've actually played is the Marvel Superheroes one, whichever one that one was, on PS4. And I got that just because my cousin was going to be, he was I think like 11 or 12 at the time, was going to be staying over at my place for a couple of days, and I was like, I'll get this game, we can play co-op and whatnot. So we did that, and it was fun. But once he left, I never went back to it. Yeah, but I definitely would like to get into this at some point. So Lego Lord of the Rings. Have played this one, Star Ocean: The Last Hope International. It's the only Star Ocean. I have played it, but I have not finished it. It's the only Star Ocean game that I have not finished out of the main series. I remember playing quite a bit of it and just being super slow paced. Not that I didn't enjoy it. I just one of those where it just fell off after a while because I was kind of like, all right, come on, let's make something happen here. And when I do finally finish it, which I think it's going to be, I talked about in my backlog video about how I am going to be making a list for next year of 20 games to beat, and this will definitely be on there because I would like to finally finish the series and get it done and over with because I love the other games. So I have no doubt that upon completion, I will be more than happy to have finished it. So next one, Trails of Cold Steel. I have not played it. I heard amazing things about it, so I picked it up. I also really loved Trails in the Sky on PSP. Awesome, really fun game. Another one I have not beaten. Some of these JRPGs, man, they're just... I'm a huge JRPG fan, but it's so taxing. They're so freaking long. And it's just... Ugh. And I'm saying that as a fan. Like, I love it, don't get me wrong, but it's tough for me to finish them sometimes just because it's so heavy. But I really am looking forward to getting into it at some point for sure, because I've heard nothing but great things about the whole trilogy. Next is, got an art book with it, Tears to Tiara, Heir of the Overlord. I'll be honest with you, I don't know much about it other than, Japanese style game, I assume an RPG, but the reason I picked it up was because I really enjoyed the anime, Tears to Tiara, and so I was like, I saw the game, and I saw it for cheap, and I was like, I'm gonna get it, why not? So, definitely looking to try that at some point. I like the artwork a lot on there. Yeah. And I think somewhere... You know what? I think it's on PS2, actually. 3 Disgaea games. I've got 2, 3, and 4. Guess what? I haven't played them. I have never played a single Disgaea game. And you want to talk about heavy. From what I understand, these are brutally heavy. So I am, again, going to try and knock out one of these next year to see if they're even for me. I bought them all at once because it was super cheap. I don't know if they were on sale or what, but I just remember they were super cheap, and I was like, I'm just going to get them for the collection and just have them. And it's, I love tactical role-playing games, but they're heavy and they're long on their own. So I really have to mentally prepare myself for when I dive into those. But I definitely would like to at some point, for sure. Next is R. No Surge, Ode to an Unborn Star. Japanese RPG. I have not played it. Shocker. But it sounded cool, and I want to check it out. That's what it comes down to. I like the box art. It caught my eye. A lot of times when I go for JRPGs, that's a big thing that I look for. It's like, box art looks cool. I'm gonna at least try it out, and that's the case here. So, yeah, another one. Next is, I have beaten this one, Assassin's Creed. They released the it's just the greatest hits version. Never mind. So yeah, just greatest hits. Assassin's Creed, the first one. I was told how great some of the later ones in the series are, and I was really excited to play those, but if I can, a lot of times I like to try and start from the beginning. As I mentioned before, I really like seeing that progression of how the series evolves over time, and this series is a really great one to kind of see that transition from one game to the next, because like the leap from this to the second one, good lord. And I had a good time with the third one. From what I understand, the fourth one is another major leap as well, and the newer ones obviously have been blowing people away, so it's really cool, and I'm glad that I got to I was late to the party, obviously, but I'm glad I got to start it from the beginning. Super repetitive, but you can definitely see the influences from the later games with this one. Next one is Red Faction Guerrilla. I didn't pick this up. This actually, when my cousin's husband sold me the console, this was one of the games that came with it. I honestly played it for like, I don't know, an hour. I don't remember much about it other than I remember like running around swinging at stuff with a giant hammer or something like that. And it was all right, I guess. I think I'd like to go back and check it out again at some point, just because it looks action-packed and it looks kind of neat. But I don't know much about it beyond just the first hour that I played. Because, again, if this didn't come with the console, I wouldn't have, gone out of my way to get it, most likely. Let's see. Switch these two up. Right, maybe? Yeah, okay, perfect. Next on the list, The Last of Us. If you haven't played this, do yourself a favor. Get the remastered on PS4, get the original if you still have a PS3. I cannot recommend this game enough. Storytelling, gameplay, everything is just top-notch. Naughty Dog knocked it out of the park. And it'll tug at your heartstrings more than once. I remember playing through the intro, my dad was watching, and he was like, you know how older people are with video games, like, it's almost like a movie. It's the same comment every single time. It's like, yeah, well, it's a cutscene. It's a movie, essentially. But it was really funny because he was like blown away at how good it looked and just how well, like, it was hard to believe he was watching a video game because, a lot of them remember Mario, and that's about it, just jumping over barrels or not barrels, I guess jumping over barrels in Donkey Kong. I'm not wrong. Jumping over pipes and Goombas and that kind of stuff, shooting fireballs. This is quite a jump from that. Cannot recommend this game enough. If you have not played The Last of Us, you owe it to yourself 150%. Get out there and check it out for sure. Second one's coming out soon. Cannot wait. It's going to be amazing. Good. Play it. Another one that I played the hell out of. Got all the way to the end, finished it. Ending is a little messed up. That's Far Cry 3. This was actually my first foray into the Far Cry series. I think for a lot of people, actually. I think this is kind of where it started to get really big. And it was fantastic. Just this massive open world to explore. Vehicles, different guns, tons of places. It was like a watered down Skyrim, on a freaking tropical island. It was just really, really cool. Love this game to death, and recommend it highly if you don't have it or haven't tried it. Far Cry series in general has always been really, really good. As I mentioned before, I like to every so often buy either a football or a hockey game, and this was no exception. NHL 11. There you have it. Twisted Metal. Great game. If it was my first into the series, I would love it even more. However, I still like the older ones better. 2 especially. I thought this one was fun. It was neat, but I don't know. It just didn't hit. I mean, same with Black. Just didn't hit me like the old ones did. It was still fun, but it wasn't like the groundbreaking. Oh my gosh, I have to get the system for this game, which is what the second one was for me. I bought the system because I tried Twisted Metal 2 at somebody else's house. This would not have been a system seller for me. I still would have had fun with it and thought it was cool. But, yeah, Twisted Metal. Red Dead Redemption. Great game. And the new one is phenomenal. Fell in love with this game when I played it. I never did any expansions or add-ons or anything like that, but really, really enjoyed my time with this. That whole, I still talk about it with my buddy Brandon to this day. Anytime we talk about Red Dead Redemption, we talk about, remember when you go into Mexico, the music changes? It's just goosebumps, man. It's so great. Phenomenal game, Red Dead Redemption. If you have not played the original, you can only play the new one, or new one's a prequel, so if you played the new one, you're in perfect position to go back and try the old one. It doesn't really matter what order you're playing in, though, because they are connecting stories, but not... You don't have to have played one to understand the other one at all. Just high recommendation on there. Fallout 3, another one that came with the console when I bought it. I honestly wouldn't. I don't even think I played this on the PS3. I played the hell out of it on PC. Love this game. Just again, another one of those where it was my first entry into the series. And man, I played the hell out of it on PC, but I have not touched it on my PS3 because I didn't need to, because I'd already finished it, and I was like, I did so much in that game. I did almost everything. I'm sure there was still tons that I missed, but I did a lot, and I definitely got my money's worth out of it, which is a funny story. If anybody, I don't want to talk about it on here, but if anybody wants to know about my Fallout 3 story that knows me in real life, just ask. Eternal Sonata. Another game that I want to go back to and finish, because I really, really enjoyed this. Music is phenomenal. It's all about Frédéric Chopin, the composer, kind of on his deathbed, and like, if I remember correctly, like this journey that he goes on in his mind, and it's just a really, really well done JRPG, and never really got the attention it deserved. At least I feel. Because I really, really enjoyed my time with it. Another one of those that was just really, really heavy and kind of got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm ready to wrap this up. But I really, really enjoyed what I played of it, and I definitely want to go back and finish it because I really, really appreciated what this game was. So yeah, I'll definitely get back into it. So I think I'm going to call that for part 1. Yeah, I guess I'll see you next time for part 2. Like, comment, subscribe, all the fun stuff. And as always, keep on gaming.